Hello, everyone. I'm Philip Kotler. I want to thank Wine to Wine, one of the most important wine industry forums in Italy. Wine to Wine is an exclusive event that offers wine professionals the opportunity to meet and exchange ideas and points of view on a continuously evolving market. Everyone, enjoy yourselves at Wine to Wine 2018.
I'll be honest with you that the concept of data and wine today really do not belong. Why? Well, I guess it's historic reasons. But there's no doubt about it, in the future we're going to learn a lot about how data and wines are going to be combined. Here's just a thought for you. What if we could map down the taste preference for people and basically create wines and flavors and position those products around the data, meaning the preferences of consumers? If we could do that, suddenly we would do another type of segmentation in the world. Instead of doing segmentation based on income level, where people live, or how they basically behave, we instead can target people based on their taste preferences. So I believe the next future is going to be not just about targeting in a conventional way. It's going to be assessing what the preferences are of people's taste buds and use that as a foundation for creation of new wine and how we're going to market to those respondents. The most important thing with precision marketing today is that we start to understand the users or the consumers of wine. Do we really know those people? Well, the issue is the wine industry actually doesn't know them. The players of the Amazons, many different wine websites do, but do you guys producing the wine, do you know about these consumers? The most important thing you can do if you happen to be a manufacturer or a vineyard is for you to establish a direct dialogue between the wine drinker and yourself, and very carefully start to map down the data about how they behave, what the preferences are, and if they like this wine, they're more likely to like that wine. Those type of insights will make it incredibly valuable, and most importantly, what will happen is that you will start to establish a direct relationship with the wine consumer. Because the issue today is, if you do not do that, you're slowly going to lose the contact and you are going to become a commodity player instead. And there's nothing worse than doing exactly that. The culture of a country is incredibly important. Let me give you an example. Imagine I have two different cars in front of you. They're exactly the same design, same color, same engine, same price. Everything is exactly the same. There's just one difference. The car on the left, if you have them on the screen right now, is made in Turkey. The car on the right is made in Switzerland. Would that change your opinion about which car to choose? Most likely. This is what I call the country of origin as a branding statement. And culture in many ways have an equal influence on the image of a wine house. It basically means that if you place your wine in a certain country, you can either tap into those positive values or you can discard them in case the country is not adding any value to the game. So be very careful about what you dial up and what you dial down. I don't need to tell you, in the past, a lot of wine houses have lost out because they did the wrong thing. Hopefully you won't do it. Connectivity is incredibly important in marketing, mainly because we all are connected with each other. And what happens is we're following each other all the time. And because of that, we basically are influencing each other all the time. That means that you are going to be a brand, I am a brand. And I will follow you based on how popular your brand is. Now, just to give you a sense of how far this will go. Now, around 20 years ago, I launched a concept called contextual branding. It's the idea of sending the right message to the right audience at the right time. Contextual branding is really what's going on right now in supermarkets. Just recently, a major supermarket chain in the United States, in fact, launched this very concept. So that meant that if you are very popular as a brand, as an individual person, the prices in the supermarket on the fly basically will go down. That means on the small displays, on the shelf, the price will go down. If you're not popular, or if you have no brand, the price will go up. Why? Because the supermarket want to target those people with aspirational values in order to attract more people. So you talk about it online, you spread the word. So in many ways, this is going to basically describe how marketing is going to be driven in the future, taking into account where you are, who you are, and most importantly, what message fits to you right now at this moment. The most important thing right now is to understand what we call the customer journey. How well do you understand it? I mean, how well do you understand how your customer is booking the trip? How well they actually understand your brand and therefore what decisions they make while they buy your trip or they buy your product and service? How they find their way to the service, how they consume the service, and later on how they talk about it. Do you understand all those paths? You need to create a whole customer journey from the very beginning to the very end. And then you need to optimize that. And the way you do that is to use one of my philosophies, which I call the blue and the green script. Now here's a story for you. Alfred Hitchcock, when he produced one of his very famous movies, worked with the blue script and the green script. The blue script was really the rational description of how the movie was flowing. It meant that here it was the props being used, here was a very interesting dialogue, here you had this backdrop. All of those aspects would describe the movie from a rational point of view. However, the green script would be how the viewer should feel when they were watching the movie. He feel scared, he should feel empathy, he should feel engagement. Minute by minute, he will map down how you would feel. Here's my question to you. Have you done the same with the journey towards your wine house? Basically, how should people feel throughout the entire journey, and which of those peaks do you want to own? Because that's where you can create a point of differentiation. This is where you can make it or break it. My most important advice to you as a winemaker is 3 things. One is you are going to look at a wine bottle and then you're going to say to yourself, do I like what's inside? If you understand the psychology of how to convert a graphic design of a bottle into how it tastes, you have gone very far. Today we drink with our eyes, so you need to spend most of your energy on the label design. The second thing is, remember, we are drinking perception. I'm sure you love your wine. I'm sure you have the most wonderful wine house in the world. But the reality is a lot of people don't know about you. A lot of people have no idea about wine. They're insecure. And so what we do today is we listen to what other people are saying and then we form our opinion. When we've done some fMRI research studies, scanning people's brains, we realized that based on what you're telling people, they actually form a taste preference around it. So we're completely affected by what other people are saying and how we taste it, both at a conscious level and a subconscious level. So you need to make sure you spread the word of mouth. You need to make sure you have opinion leaders, making sure that the word is spread in the right societies, in the right circles, so people follow your wine and your messages. The third thing is just as important. You are selling an experience. You're not selling a product or some liquid in a bottle. Create tours to your vineyard. Create and tell stories. I call that story selling. And so that people are mostly engaged with that whole journey of yours. Why was it the way it is? How was it produced? What made it different in the production methodology? Why is it so sensory? All those things will help people to form an emotional engagement with your wine or your brand. And at the end of the day, that's what will help you to stand out.